Project Game Day Postgame Show brought to you by 1-800-GAMBLER and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. It's fitting that on top of everything else that's gone wrong, my headset no longer works either. So, I mean, why not? It's not officially over, but it's close enough to officially being over that we can, discuss it as though it is over. So we are going to do some micro. I know when Rita hops on, she'll want to start doing the macro and there's going to be lots of time for us to handle the macro. The micro is the shame is that it was a game they could have won anyway. I mean, despite everything, it's still a game they could have won. Should they have? Probably not, but they could have. And they could have at least kept it alive. I know we'd all sort of laugh and giggle about that and say it doesn't matter anyway, but they could have. It was there. Ultimately, this was probably a pretty good microcosm of what the 2025 Ravens are. That they were a failure to launch. They never really happened. They didn't exist. There was no actual joy. This is kind of like a greatest hits collection of the 2025 Ravens. It's a little bit of everything. Um, there's almost nothing in there that wasn't covered in this game. You could say for stretches the defense was good enough. The defense wasn't very good. It was just good enough for stretches. The offense was semi-competent for moments, and then for some reason Derrick Henry was missing again when the game was at stake for no apparent reason at all. Nobody was good enough, and the Ravens weren't good enough. And look, man, I get it. Like Lamar Jackson didn't play in the second half, but I don't know that we would have said that Lamar Jackson really looked like Lamar Jackson again in the first half either. So it to me is a collection of everything. This is about the story of the 2025 Ravens. Ken, you were in first. I'll let you have your first thoughts.
Um, I think you said it well. I mean, the micro versus macro, it's not technically over, right?
Yeah, it's
You have to beat Green Bay and you have to hope that the Steelers lose against Cleveland. Cleveland gave Buffalo everything they could handle today. Um, every offensive had every offensive coach and the head coach needs to go, and they need to go immediately.
whatever.
You will not find for since they signed Keaton Mitchell, from the day they signed him. I wrote about him when I was still doing that. Loved the kid in college. All year, I wanted him to play more. It is utterly insane for him to be in that series after Derrick Henry had rushed for 100 once. He came back. They didn't want any part of him. And what I thought at that point was the biggest offensive series of their season, and I don't think that that's stating it too much. He's on the sideline. It makes zero sense. Nobody can explain it to me except that every third series, they decided before the game that Keaton Mitchell was going to be their running back every third series. That's fine in the first half. Play the game that's in front of you. It's idiotic. And there's so many other things that went wrong, but to me, we could talk, you all are going to talk about, we're all going to talk about it. That's the dumbest thing I have seen from this team all year. Literally the dumbest thing I've seen from this team.
Me.
And that's
There was
all,
a there,
and that's the
there
game to me.
there was a lot of dumb. This was definitely the most recent. I don't know how to measure the dumb. This was a dumb, 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 dumb,
Your
dumb.
best football player
I
on the day
can.
was benched. Couldn't be on the field with 8 minutes left. He never got back on the field. He never got back on the field. He missed the last 8 minutes and 34 seconds of this football game in a game that he had a rushing touchdowns and 128 yards. And it was working. And you can't, I don't care what else happens. I don't care if they make the playoffs. I don't care what they do. You could take every offensive coach and the head coach and just throw them in the bag because they suck.
Okay. Andrew Stecca, go to you next.
I mean, you kind of said it. It's a microcosm of what the entire season has been to this point. And I think the two things that stand out to me the most are what we've been talking about all season is the lines. I mean, they could not get a pass rush to save their life. They made Drake May look like an MVP, which I don't know, he might be. I don't really know what to make of that. But I honestly, I thought the secondary played okay. It was just they once again didn't really have a pass rush despite getting to him a couple of times. They didn't pressure the Patriots and they kind of let them do whatever they want. And then offensively, I don't really know what else, in the micro you can really expect. I thought they did what they needed to do until, like KZ said, for whatever purpose, they took 22 off the field at the end and didn't give them the opportunity to chew some clock or do anything. So it's, between, like I said, the play in the trenches being what it has all season and the injuries just continuing to be the weird thing that they have been all season. I don't really know what to say about any of that or how to explain it. It's been a year from hell, and I'm kind of glad that we can just old yeller it at this point.
All right, here we go. Get your popcorn. Rita,
Why do you need popcorn for me?
I was hoping you were going to come in with piss and vinegar for some reason.
Nah, I
I was
don't have
really
it.
hoping you had had
She
it.
hasn't cared for 6 weeks. What
I
are you
know, but
talking
I was
about?
I was
Thank
hoping I
you,
could get it out
Andrew.
of her
Like, I've
still.
been checked out. I've been checked out. This team is mediocre. They're not good. Um, it's funny because I felt like when the game first started, I was like, wow, the play calling is really good tonight. The offensive line is really good tonight. And it just felt right, right? Things that the Ravens don't typically do that I argue in my head about with them or on this post game show, they were doing. Like I saw play action and I saw a slant, and I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And then y'all already talked about the whole Derrick Henry situation. But we have seen this before multiple times this year. So while it is baffling still, it is not surprising. We've seen it already. The defense on the defensive side, I am, I don't understand. Yes, it's a problem that you can't get a pass rush, which is your four guys, consistently. But the coach's job and responsibility, in my opinion, is to find ways to then make that happen. And when he allowed on 3rd and 13 to not bring anybody, I said, hey, I just busted out laughing because it was funny to me. I said, oh, okay, well, if he don't care, why should I?
Mhm.
So um listen, and I know what you said about Lamar. I'm sorry. Like Lamar Jackson to me is I'm always gonna feel way more optimistic. I love Tyler Huntley's progression and growth. Because I see it in him, but his arm is still just as weak as it was when he was
Oh,
on
I
top.
mean specifically, the difference would be if you fell behind and you needed to actually do something, you had a chance with Lamar and you didn't with Tyler.
One thousand
But I
percent.
still have to recognize they went up by 2 scores with Tyler Huntley
Oh,
in
I
the
mean,
game.
I
Like
mean,
that did
again,
happen.
yes,
Yeah.
no, and so we should be used to this feeling. I know that we don't want to get used to it, but at the end of the
Mhm.
day, we should be, right? And
Mhm.
NBC reminded us that this is
Yep.
the most that's happened, in since 2021 in a 5-year span by any NFL team. We are used to them giving up double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. It's not a good football team. And I know we talked about playoff. I do care if they go to the playoffs. They're not. I'm not interested in being embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, you're openly rooting for them not to. That's what you're
I
doing.
mean, I'm
All
not
right,
saying I'm not openly rooting for them. I'm not sitting here like, man, I'm rooting for the Packers next week. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, I, you still want them to have
yeah,
fight.
yeah,
I
go
want
ahead.
them to show fight in the sense of like,
Well, I think there's a real question if Lamar is going to play again this season.
well, that there's that too,
Yeah.
right? But I'm with KZ. Like, At the end of the day, the offense is all of the, it's not just the offense. All of this has been too inconsistent. All of
Yeah.
everything. I can sit here and name every phase about this 2025 team that has been inconsistent. It has been in every
They left.
single
They
phase.
had their kicker leave a 56-yard field goal short.
Yeah.
He left a 56-yard
Everything
field goal
everything about the season
short.
has just been a shit show to me. And we can sit here and attribute Lamar being off for a month due to injury being a part of that, but I'm not gonna do that because Lamar played in that Chiefs game and they was getting skull dragged before he even left that game. This has just been a complete shit show, and I for one am ready for this to end. I am not actively rooting for the teams that they play the last 2 weeks. I'm just telling you that I'm not interested in seeing this product anything past week 18. I'm not. And I'm just ready to see what ownership will do
Mm-hmm.
as a result to
Mm-hmm.
say this is not enough for us anymore, and what changes comes with that, if any. That is all I'm looking for at this point.
Remains to be seen, but it's an important question. Tyus Bowser, former Ravens linebacker, your reaction to what occurred tonight?
I mean, a rough night, like everybody mentioned, just giving up touchdowns and them having to come back to win the game. I mean, just not finishing. And that's been the story, this entire year while I was there. And I mean, and it still hasn't been solved. That's the issue. And I mean, beginning of the game, like Rita said, I was like, okay, they coming in, game plan is right. They looking good. They getting Derrick Henry the ball. Ford's out there getting the ball. He was a player of the game until he fumbled that ball at the end.
And you know
But
what, Tyus, even that was kind of greatest hits too, right? Because for
yeah,
as all of the Zay Flowers, all of the good, and you're right, he was probably the best Raven on the field until that moment. But still in that play, you saw the same thing, which is for some reason he's allergic to getting upfield. Like he
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's
And I
it.
I think that's always been him. Even in college, where he gets the ball and he just tries to make a play, especially in these times where he has to be that guy and he has to go out there and try to get these guys down the field to try to score. He's just trying to be the hero, and it's tough because that's part of his play. And I think it's happened before where he's tried to do that and fumbled the ball. I'm not sure what game it was, but it was at home. But yeah, just the same exact things, just not getting up the field, protecting the ball, knowing that you got to get in the end zone. And that was the play of the game, unfortunately.
Obviously the Derrick Henry fumble was significant, and it felt like they were going to build up a sizable lead, but I don't know. Ultimately, the way that Drake May played, maybe he would have figured out a way to get him back into the game anyway. I don't know that it would have mattered. And again, they rallied from it. Like it looked like it was going to hell, and they rallied from it, and they took a two-score lead, and the Patriots insanely decided to help them by going with a fake punt that made no effing sense. Like everything was there for them. As everybody has pointed out, yes, Derrick Henry scores the touchdown and then doesn't see the field again. And save for us finding something out about Derrick Henry, save for, us finding out that he also was hurt. Um, there's never going to be an excuse for it. And it does feel like it might be the moment that finally makes you wonder, as Rita brought up, is there somehow going to be an intervention coming from the top that just has not, they have had no interest in recent years, because there is no explanation for allowing your season to end that way. There will never be, to Ken's point, we'll obsess over it and we'll forget about other things that happened during the course of the game. And, that's a little unfair because there are other stories, but you allowed your season to be determined without Derrick Henry on the field when you already didn't have Lamar Jackson. I mean, like there's no effing getting around that. There's no shaking that. You decided that that was okay. And so, to Ken's point, there's no defense of it. There's no defense of it. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's no defending it, and there's no sitting back and saying, "Yeah, but nah." That's the type of stuff that loses you your job, period.
I
Like,
wonder if they actually like just go in the locker room and be like, all right, Derek, like you're good for the rest of the game, or like I really be questioning how you start the game so strong and you see how well he does. And yes, he makes a mistake, but he's not the only one in the NFL who's made that mistake,
well, and
especially
then
more than once. But at the
That he
same
was, it,
time,
but Tyus, he wasn't benched because he fumbled. He was. I
yeah, he
mean,
was dominant from that
that's what
point,
I'm
right?
saying.
from that point on, it's been one of my complaints about this coaching staff for the longest time is that they go in with these preconceived notions, and this is the way they're going to win the game. And if it works, great, they'll win the game. And they've been very successful winning regular season games that way. But they don't change from it. It was very obvious that every third series, they decided in this game to give Keaton Mitchell the ball. And Tyus, from this, I am a big proponent of Keaton Mitchell getting the ball, but there's limits to it. But that was Keaton Mitchell's drive with 8 minutes left because it was his turn. And nobody has the forethought to say, hey, we know it's your turn, but we need our best player on the field for this drive. Lamar's not there. We need Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just is dominating the football game right now, and they didn't do it. And that's to me, there's no excuse, and that is the purpose of your head coach. Even if your offensive coordinator is saying that, hey, we're going to put Keaton in there. No, this is where Derrick Henry has to dominate and use and control the game. We're running the ball well, continue to do what we're doing. It's inexcusable. And it should get people fired. And
Another thing,
it should get the top guy fired. I don't want to all this window dressing that they're going to do after this season of changing offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators and special teams coordinators and certain players aren't going to be back. It's all BS unless you cut off the top of the snake's head and change who the leadership is, because that's a leadership thing. That's a leadership thing, and not having the forethought of understanding what kind of football game you're in.
I want to add to what KZ is saying. Like, my thing is that, as John Harbaugh, you're the head coach. And so I don't understand, like, Todd Monken don't run no show around there. You run the show. You get the final say. You get to call the shots. And you see the same things that we see, which is Derrick Henry not being there. So what is it that you're doing? Why are you allowing this person that is under you why are you not overriding him? Because you have the authority to do that. You have the authority to say, put his ass back out there. I don't give a shit about all this other stuff that you got going on. And so you don't do that. But furthermore, the Ravens had 9 home games this year, and they are 3-6. And I think that's another reason why you need to be thinking about maybe making a move. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. I don't know if maybe that's happened before.
It has not. It's their most losses.
Okay, well, it's time. So guess what? Move along. Now, here's the problem. We got to be careful what we wish for, right? It's not like you can find great coaching just anywhere. It is trial and error with these types of things. And I'm not necessarily a person I've never been the KZ of the group, right? I've always tried to be, a little bit more rational when it comes to this. I just don't think you can continue to do this. I just don't think you can continue to allow people to have jobs that continue to do the same thing, which is remove your best players in critical moments on the football field, allow, coordinators to just give these teams opportunities to make plays and give the Patriots credit, right? Eventually they said, okay, well, we know at some point they're going to just blitz regularly, so we're going to get the ball out quick. That was towards the end of the game. So I give them, but during the game when he was like just trying to chill and standing in the pocket, you were just allowing this to happen. You got to get rid of those type. You got to get rid of that person. You got to get rid of the person that's not putting your best player on the field. and Derrick Henry, and you got to get rid of the guy that's involved with both of them, that's allowed this 3-6 record to happen, because unfortunately it falls all under him. He's the leader of the pack. So I've not been that person, but I'm ready to have that conversation. It is time to have that dialogue. It is time for Steve Bisciotti to say, this does not work for me no more, because I have Lamar Jackson and I'm wasting Lamar Jackson years. And at some point, he has to have a championship. This mediocrity is not going to get him or me as an owner or this city a championship.
And it's a weird one, Rita, because I know you're right. At the same time, I have to say that Lamar was part of the problem this year. Like, I got it. I have to have,
but yes,
you know,
I agree with you. And you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
You know that you and I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's Lamar Jackson's a good problem to have. And you know what I'm saying? And for me, he's not as high on the totem pole as other people.
Yeah, the premise I agree with. It's just it's a difficult one, right? Because I cannot make it seem like the Ravens did Lamar wrong this year. Lamar did Lamar wrong this year too. Like, he just wasn't good. At the beginning of the season, he was still pretty good. He wasn't good when he came back.
And it could be partially too, Glenn, because like maybe dealing with nagging injuries has
100%.
his mental. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you that I think that Lamar Jackson, I have every reason to believe, will come back next year and be Lamar Jackson. It's just that when we talk about, like, are the Ravens doing Lamar Jackson wrong? This year is the wrong year for that, because he's part of the problem too, but I still think you have to solve for him. I agree with that part.
I agree with you, and that's why I omitted me mentioning Lamar. The issues that I have had with this what's going on are years in issues. The double-digit fourth quarter collapses, that is not a 2025 issue. You know what I mean? Him taking Henry out of the game. He did it last year too. We complained about when they got into the red zone in games. Literally, I remember this, like in the Tampa game last year. We were like, where's Derrick Henry? This is a continuous issue that does not fall on 2025. So what do we say about insanity?
No, it's doing the same.
You know what I'm saying? What do we say about insane? This is insane. Yep. Somebody has to get off the ride, and somebody needs to make the right decision here. And the only way that you can get off the ride is if you clean the slate. And that's how I feel about it.
Tyus, are we overreacting? Like, I mean, I obviously have to do the part where I say all the things, right? Lamar was unhealthy for most of the year, didn't play, and when he did play, he was either unhealthy and limited, or he's just not very good. Are we overreacting that the problem is fatal because of the results of one season, or is this about right to you the way that we're responding?
I mean, I feel like within what you guys are saying is correct. I do feel like within the past few years and continue to see the same things, whether it's like we're not fixing what the problems are. We know what the problems are, and we continue to see them, and nothing is being done, whether that's upstairs or within the coaches, within Harbaugh, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, whatever it is. It's like we're continuing to see the same things, and we know what the standard is. We know what Raven football is, and we have not played to those expectations. So what do we do to change that, to get back to that level again? And it continues to be the same result. So it's like, at this point, it's not on the players. It's like, what are we doing upstairs? What's going on? What is the talk? Are we actually having these tough conversations to be like, hey, either you need to get your stuff right, or we're going to have to make some changes. I love you. You've been here for a minute. I appreciate your loyalty. You know I rock with you. But, hey, this is a business. Just how you have that same tough conversation with every single player at the end of the year and throughout the years, training camp, all of that stuff, it's the same exact thing that got to be up there in the office. You got to let them know, hey, man, this is a business, and it's got to be ran the way that it needs to be ran, because we know what the standard is out here, and we're not up to par. And the fact that nothing has been done to improve, especially with me paying you and keeping you here and giving you all these chances, showing you that loyalty, giving you all of this and that, you're not getting it done. So now I have to have these tough conversations. And like Rita said, hey, as an owner, you gotta go and you gotta sit down with those guys and be like, hey, something has to be done, and I might have to do it, and I hate to do it, but I don't like how this is ran. And you just have to have that. I mean, at this point, you have to have those sit downs with these coaches, with these players, everybody, and be like, hey, either we gonna get this correct, or we just gonna have to clear house and we're gonna have to start over and we're gonna have to figure out what the next route is, because right now it's not working, and it hasn't been working the past couple years.
Project Gameday postgame show is brought to you by the Costas Inn. Two great locations, the Costas Inn, the OG on North Point Boulevard, the new one open at the Grandstand in Timonium. The best place to celebrate while you have family in this holiday season is in the Costas Inn. Running backs coach Willie Taggart and Derrick Henry are having a long one-on-one and talking in the locker room. I bet Derrick Henry's probably pretty upset, if I had to guess. I'm gonna just venture the guess that he might have been pretty fiery
He ain't
coming
the
off
only
the
one. He ain't
Yeah.
the only one that's upset. All
Here's
of
my issue.
Baltimore's upset too.
Yeah. Let me respond to somebody. This was Dan who said this to me. Said, you need to get after the coaches. It's not on the players. I just want to say this to be as fair as I can, because I'm not going to make any excuses for the coaches, and I do think that we've approached the time. I think we're there, but I'm not going to make any excuses for the players either. I don't think there are 7 players on this roster, and I think that I might still be high on that number, that could look themselves in the mirror and say that they've had an outstanding season. I don't know that there are 4. The punters had an outstanding season. I think
Outstanding?
Yes, he's been outstanding. Yes, 100%. He leads the league in net
Outstanding?
punt average. He
Oh,
has been
that's
outstanding this year. You guys are just defaulting back to the ways that you felt about Jordan Stout. He has
No,
been
I
outstanding.
think he's been good.
No, he's
Outstanding feels.
You only get to measure him against the other punters that are in the NFL, not against the fantasy that he's going to kick the ball 80 yards every time. He has led the league in net punting average. He has been the best punter in football this year. He has been outstanding.
I think you also may be measuring him against his previous performance a little bit
No,
too.
I'm measuring against the other punters in the league this year. He's been dramatically better than them. He's been
your
the best
grander
punter.
point. Your grander point is totally right. There are not 7 players on this roster.
And I don't know that there are 4.
Season.
Like, this is the issue. Like, I'm agreed on board with everything we're saying about the coaches, but there is going to be no pass. The players have been a massive problem this season. And even the guys who play, Zay Flowers is one of the better players on this team, but is still doing this stuff.
Yep.
He's still not getting upfield when he catches the football and dancing around and praying. And I defended giving Mark Andrews a contract extension, but holy fuck, what was that? I'm sorry.
Right. Like,
I'm
are we
so
supposed
sorry.
to act like we didn't see that? Like, what are we doing here?
Whoa, what is that? I was surprised.
It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen on a football field.
Crazy.
Ever.
Crazy.
He said he saw
Yes.
what Kyle Van Noy did with Gilman last week, and he wanted to replicate it.
This was something I've never seen anything like this.
Are we blaming Ed Reed's visit a while back for these?
Possibly.
Is that what this is?
This is nuts. But the crazy part is, I'd love to know what the story. I'd love to know because I actually think it was kind of neat, the thought that they might have called a play that involved a lateral to try to steal some points at the end of the half. But like, you've been in the league for forever. You're falling the F down. You know better.
This coaching staff ain't been that aggressive all season, though. Why would they start there?
I don't know. I don't have that answer.
I don't.
I don't know which is crazier.
The Zay Flowers touchdown run. After that happened, I'm like, okay, well that's a nice concept.
Yeah, it wasn't. Nice concept.
I mean, from
the
second that it was developing, I'm like, as we're watching again, I'm like, well, he's gonna score. Like, that was great. That was great. But then I don't know. Yeah, the Andrews thing.
And Derrick Henry has still been one of the best players on the team, and yet his fumbles are a major part of the story of the season.
Yeah, and
100%.
look, he hasn't fumbled since week 3, and so it feels. And I'm going to credit that defender for punching. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying it did get better until tonight when he got punched out.
But on the whole, he fumbled the ball 4 times. They cost him in 3 losses.
I get it. I won't go that far. But did it contribute? Yes.
I'm not saying it was the reason they lost all 4 games.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay.
Cost them in those 4 losses, in 3 losses.
Okay.
Right? Like, There aren't there might not be three guys on this team that I can sit back at the end of the year and say I think that they played a high level. I think Travis Jones, when he was healthy, played a high level of football for the whole season, I think. And I think Kyle Hamilton, we probably still need to put on that list.
Yes.
So I've got three now. I've got and two, and one of them's a punter. That's what I've got. Maybe I'm being unfair to Teddy Buchanan, who when he was healthy was mostly very good. But I don't even know that I would say entirely because it took him a little while to come on. So yes, I'm on board with everything we're talking about on the coaching staff, but we can't pretend like the other thing isn't a problem too. Like that's also a problem.
So Glenn, and I agree with you. I agree with you. So, there's been like fans in a group that, and I disagree with this, so let me say this, but that the window's closed. And I don't think the window's ever closed as long as Lamar is here. So let me start by that. But with saying that, like how many like this off season now becomes the biggest off season in Lamar's career. And it's not necessarily how Lamar comes back, but how they build around him.
Well, it's both. I mean, it's both of those things.
Like you I'm tired. I watch other teams. I'm just we all watch a ton of football. Like our guys are never open. And not that they're not, you understand, like they're not wide open. Like you see guys even for New England, like there's no one around them. Like what Bateman, why is he here? What does he do now? Like is he still hurt? I mean, I don't know. Like he's never open anymore. We don't throw the ball to him down the field anymore. You're going to lose likely, which, quite frankly, at this point, see ya. But
I mean, Isaiah likely might very well be great somewhere else, but I
he
understand
might be.
why
He might
why the
absolutely
Ravens
be
have
because
probably
you're going to
not.
find you're going to
Mhm.
like I already see him in red and white and
Oh,
putting
I
up great
know.
numbers
Everybody's
last year.
talking about it. Yeah.
Like they'll figure out the right way to use him. I haven't understood how they've used him this year after coming off of last year. But it's like, you need to upgrade both the offensive and defensive line. You still need another corner. It was nice to see, Darius come back, make a couple of plays. So I think you're probably okay at safety, but where else are you okay? Like how
That's
many,
part of the issue.
like,
It's
like,
part of
like
the
where
issue.
else are you? Like the offensive line, Lamar made everybody look good and made us believe that the offensive line would be good enough. And maybe with a healthy Lamar it is, but I don't know. I mean, what's he going to be, 30? He's not getting any younger. Like those, like his style doesn't work until you're 40 years old.
Well, his
So,
style's already different. I mean, it's
you
clearly
know
been
you
evolved.
know what I mean. But the elusiveness within the pocket, even
Yeah, I
like,
understand what you're saying, but it also doesn't just fall off the cliff because you're turning
oh
29. I
no,
mean,
no, no. I'm just saying, like
I
it's
do
not
think
going
there's a little
like.
hysteria there.
No, I'm not being.
I'm not saying you.
Maybe
I
I.
think that there's I think
Yeah,
that you're reflecting a group of people who insanely say things like, just trade Lamar. And
right.
like,
Yeah,
if
no,
somehow
no.
you know that Lamar Jackson can never be Lamar Jackson again, like, I don't know how you would know that. But the notion, this is what we do. We say, well, he's not getting younger, right? But he's also not 40. He's
No, he's not.
29 years old.
But like, how are you going to improve the offensive line? Like, you're going to have to give if your
You're,
center a massive contract.
or decide that center is not a position that you're going to choose to pay an insane amount of
He's
money.
literally your best offensive lineman.
I understand that.
I mean, you got. I don't know. Like, you have so many pieces that it's insane that we're talking about this, but they're for the greatest roster in the history of the world that was ever put together.
They did not live up to it by far.
But it's like all to your point. There's 3, 4 max people. Like this is a huge, even for your
Yeah.
GM, who I think's done an excellent job as much as he can do. even
Well,
during the season. The two
yeah.
moves that he made worked out really well.
Yeah, for the most part, they did. I mean, for the most part.
Trayvon Jones been terrific. He's been
Yeah.
he's been an upgrade without going and having to sign and give away the farm
Yeah,
for one of
he
these
has.
guys.
He's definitely been really good.
The safety, look, he's had his moments, but he changed what the defense is allowed to do just by having him here. We can all say
But
that
it's a
Oweh's
fine line,
gone,
Ken.
and
I think they've both done their jobs well. I don't think either one of them are special, and I think that's the bigger
I
problem
don't
is they
think they're
don't really
special.
have.
I'm just saying, like, he's got to make a lot. There's got to be a lot of tough decisions here by him, and they've got to figure out.
There you go.
I'm reading this.
By the way, there's your answer.
The rotate. See,
In hindsight,
like
you would have liked to have him there. How many hindsights you gonna fucking have? This is the same story over and over again. Same story.
To say that, like
that's so. That's
you're the head coach.
Oh my God!
You're like literally the head coach.
You could literally call timeout if you weren't happy with it. I get it's a close game, but you had 3 timeouts and say, "Hey, Monk, get him in the freaking game. I don't care about this stupid rotation."
Thank you.
You're
the head coach. You're the head man in charge.
They also got a first down. They got a first down and had a chance to reset after picking up the first down.
Thank you.
They had the opportunity.
Right. Not only you're right, they did. So they decided twice that this was the right decision. I'm sorry for you to sit there and even admit that and give him a little bit of credit. He admitted it. You got to go.
He's admitted it numerous times, though.
You got to go.
Admits he is
the problem is this ain't the first
you
time
we've heard
him say that.
You got to.
The person, head coach
the
person
that decided it and the person that approved it both need it. Just go. I'm tired. I'm tired of looking at your face. I just am. I'm tired of the words. I'm tired of the who's better, who's got it better than us. I'm tired of it all.
I don't think
you haven't won a damn thing. You won a Super Bowl because it wasn't a minute longer. I'm done with this.
Stop.
He also confirmed that the Andrews play was not in the design.
No, I mean, sure as hell. I mean, the way it ended up, you better not be.
He's just going to toss Andrews under the bus there too. So.
Yeah, right. That's the way it goes. Norm, they're soft and it starts with the quarterback. Oh, they're all coming out today. They're all coming out. Here's what I'll give you, right? I have pushed back on a number of things. All of your ammunition towards the head coach, I'm for it. If you have decided that this season has been the thing that's going to bring you back to the way that you felt about Lamar Jackson 7 years ago, you're the problem. And I'm not going to waste any time with you. You're an idiot. Now, Lamar Jackson has to get back to being Lamar Jackson. That's clear. 1000%. He has to get back to being Lamar Jackson, but there's no debate about who he is. He's had one season where he hasn't been Lamar Jackson. Literally the entirety of his career, he's been one of the 3 best players in the National Football League. That's the end of that. Like that's where that goes. Spare me. Sean, though I appreciate Zay trying to make plays, it'd be too extra and he lacks discipline.
It's just that he doesn't protect the football. I mean, I don't know about the discipline thing. I think that he overcompensates for like when they are down. I think he tries to do too much, to try to help his team. I don't think it's a discipline thing. I think that Zay is trying to help his football team, but in the process, he forgets that he has to protect the football. And these are the things that happen. 2 things can be true. He can be trying to help his team and uplift his team by trying to add extra yards and make plays, even though we might not agree with how he does it. But then also that he has a problem with, in doing that, not protecting the football. And he has to learn that he has to protect the football. You literally were just in a football game, the same football game where your running back had his ball punched out. New England has been known to do that all year long. This is what they've done. So I'm confused why you thought, given your history as Zay Flowers, that you would be any different. I'm not. I give him all the credit for the effort that he puts in because I do think that he really tries. But in the process, he can be. It can blow up in his face because he doesn't protect the football. And that's really the problem here.
Tyus, walk me through that, right? Because I have gotten to the point where now when I see him hop, it makes my brain hurt because I don't think it's resulted in enough significant good to overcome the bad or just the 5 yards that could be there without the hop. Um,
Yeah.
am I too critical of that? Like, is he so gifted that I should? Brett Favre, the football player, not the piece of the garbage human that he's proven to be, the football player was really good at throwing the football, but part of what came with it was he was going to give the ball to the other team a lot, right? Like, but you kind of lived with that because he was a gunslinger and that's what he did. Where is the line with Zay Flowers? And is it as much of a problem as it's starting to feel like it is to a lot of us? Or do we have to live with that because of his skill set?
I feel like with his experience, knowing what he's capable of doing, he has to. I think it's more of a discipline thing where you have to understand number one, your situations, number two, your gift and what you have. But then number three, it's like you got to understand with what you have going on that there are risks. With you being as agile and quick as you are, you're capable of making plays, which is what you want him to do. That is what he's great at. But at the same time, with that, you have to understand situations with, okay, I know I am able to do all these things, but right now I just need to get moving forward. I need to be able to protect the ball because at the end of the day, we need to have the ball going into the end zone to win the game. And then with that, you got to understand too, like with the situation, they're trying to get the ball away from you because they don't want you to score. So you got to get that. When you're in the middle of the field catching the ball, when you running side to side, you got to understand that there's people behind you that's running to get it. Me as a defensive player, just like Clavon did, I'm the type of guy, hey, I'm running, I see the ball throw, I'm running straight to the ball. And
Mhm.
especially if I know with him being that he wants to try to create a play and try to shake everybody, the ball is going to be out. Like, it's no way that you're able to do all these things with the ball just with the ball not being able to be out. So as a defensive player, I'm trying to find the ball and hit it out because I'm trying to end the game just like you did. So those are all the things as a player that you have to learn and understand. Like, hey, like I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know that I can. But in situations like this, I got to be able to do what is simply needed to be done. Unless I know if I'm catching the ball deep or something like that, and it's a one-on-one, or the second defender is 15 yards away, now I have the free, now I have a little bit more freedom to be able to make a move and try to do what I'm capable of doing, knowing that I have the time and the protection of doing that. But when you're in the middle of the field, you got guys around you like that, you got to know, hey, these guys out here hawking for the ball because they trying to end the game. Like they're not trying to be out here on defense. So if they see that ball out, especially nowadays, knowing how easy these receivers, running backs, they just holding the ball out. Derrick Henry today, he's a guy where he's going to run the ball. He's going to try to run through you. But they also know with that, that ball is going to be loose in the middle of those huddles. So they know, hey, this is my chance to try to get at the ball because he's not aware of it. So those are the little things that you got to catch as a player, knowing the situation, knowing what you're capable of doing, and being like, hey, what is the best move? What is the best decision to make at this time to allow my team to win the game at the end of it all?
Norm, say you want, he deserves a lot of criticism, but Harbaugh isn't going anywhere. This is the tricky part about the Harbaugh conversation is we still don't know what like it's easy to say, well, Steve Bisciotti just it's his buddy, so he's going to give him a pass. I think it's more complicated than that. I don't think Steve Bisciotti likes to pay people to not do their jobs. And it's easy for us to say, spend the money. It's not our money. We don't have that option. I think John Harbaugh is going to coach again if he gets fired, so I think it's less of a risk
Good for him.
because what's that?
Good for him.
No,
Shouldn't be,
what I'm saying
shouldn't
is
be
that means
here. Shouldn't be
what it
here.
means is that if you fire him, everybody always talks about what you owe him. You owe someone the difference of what they make somewhere else and what they would have made with you. I don't think that John Harbaugh's, unless he says, you fire me, I'm just going to sit out and collect my money. I think John Harbaugh is going to choose to try to coach again, and then you don't owe him the entirety of that money. You only owe him the difference between what his contract is and what he would have gotten paid by the Ravens. So it makes the conversation a little complicated. It's why like the Penn State thing was so wildly
With James Franklin,
misreported.
yep.
People talking about like they owe him $50 million. That was nonsense. They were never going to owe him $50 million. They were going to owe him the difference between what he was going to get somewhere else because he was going to keep coaching. Um, I think that's what John Harbaugh. Now, maybe John Harbaugh says, I'm at an age, I don't feel like it. I'd rather just collect your money. And to the point, I would say, okay, then that's the tax that you're going to have to pay. Like that's the way that it would work. It's a complicated conversation, but my gut tells me you're not going to be on the hook for all of that. My gut tells me he's going to keep paying money. It is interesting. One of the things that was up on the screen that I didn't react to, apparently it was 30 minutes after the game when John Harbaugh's press conference began. That's not usual. I just don't know, if he was trying to get an answer on Lamar or if he was talking to somebody
One
higher
of
up.
them long talks up in that locker
Mhm.
room after the game.
Don't
I've
know.
been in a few of those, but
Don't know. Don't know.
definitely one of those long talks, man.
One of those long talks.
Long
He
talks.
did
Yeah.
say apparently Harbaugh knew that Lamar wouldn't return at halftime. He knew that Lamar wouldn't go to
I
return.
mean, when you heard the interview he did at halftime, if any of you thought that there was any chance of Lamar Jackson coming back into the game, you're nuts. Give me that, Tyus, because they're calling it a back bruise for Lamar Jackson. What does that mean? Why couldn't he have been able to come back into the game? Explain to the layman what the story might be there.
That's a great question. I mean, I was looking at the replay and I maybe seen a knee to the back. I'm not sure. But I mean, yeah, I have no idea to be honest with you. I didn't think from my view and my eyes, I'm like, okay, like I didn't see too much. Like I didn't see no cleat to the back. I didn't see no helmet directly to the back or anything like that. So it's kind of hard to really just describe or tell you how I feel about the whole situation because I'm like, I didn't really see too much. But I mean, that's his body. Whatever he felt is how he felt. I mean, you seen the reaction, so I mean, at that point, it's like, hey, if he felt it, he felt it. So
I also wonder if it might be the totality of everything at some point that
probably,
leads to that, right? That it's not really just about the back, it's about the back on top of this, on top of that, on top of everything else that leads to you just not being in that position anymore. From what did we think about Emory Jones? Is it proof that they should have gone away from Andrew Voorhees earlier? I don't know. I mean, I thought it was about the same.
No,
Like, I
that's
don't
not
know.
proof of that.
Yeah, I mean,
It would be the answer.
yeah. I mean, did it look different or dramatically better than anybody else? Like, I thought it looked
No, the offensive line is not
uh,
good still.
about
No,
the
but they did
same.
play better today, I thought. I did think that they played better today, but I mean, I don't feel confident about like
They
Well, I'm
played
just saying.
better.
I
They
think
played
he's
better
asking
running the
specifically
football.
when
yes,
Voorhees came
but that's
off.
what I
Yeah,
mean. Yes. And running the football, yeah.
I don't know, but they were running the ball fairly well before Voorhees left the game. So I don't
Yeah,
think
exactly.
yeah, I don't think there was any difference with Emory Jones out on the field. I don't know. I don't think that they pass protect well.
I mean, how would we know when Derrick Henry was on the sideline? I mean,
But Jones was on the field when Derrick Henry was gashing them too. They were
oh,
both on the field when Derrick Henry was
well,
gashing them. In
I don't
fact,
know. It could have been drastically different the last 8 minutes.
oh,
Well, we'll never know.
it's never, it's
It's an
never.
unfortunate situation that just happened, Ken. There's nothing that could have been done about it. It's fine.
There's nothing. It's just one of those things. It was predetermined.
Well,
It
in
was
hindsight,
In
Keen
hindsight,
Mitchell.
they would have
It
liked
was
for it to
it was
happen, but
Keen Mitchell's
that's not the way
time.
it played out.
And darn it, we
Right.
have to get him. We had to get him on a day when he wasn't productive. Darn it, we got to get him his 10 touches.
Those are really the kind of comments, though. Like it, it gets to a point where you're talking down to people and thinking that like saying something like that, you're not going to get away with it for very much longer because people are beyond that.
Well, yeah, I think we're
Gonna,
past that moment.
you're really going to say in hindsight we would have liked for that to happen. And honestly, I think you need to double click on the blowing leads thing because like it'll go underrated because of who was playing quarterback and everything in this game and just the way that the game played out, but my God, they blew another two-score lead in a fourth quarter. And, Kyle Hamilton's now out here making quotes about how this has become a common theme in recent years. Well, what's the common theme? What are we
Time
doing?
to make a change. I don't know how else. It is screaming. All the flags are red, y'all.
It just, but
Every
it's
single
like it
thing.
doesn't. And here's the thing, like I agree with one thing that whoever the writer in was I don't know where the owner is with this, and I don't know if he can.
That's the biggest question.
I don't know. Like, does he have the gumption to fire his golfing buddy? I don't know, but to allow this head coach to hire more coaches when nothing changes. It doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator has been. Doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator has been. You blow leads and you still make these type of decisions on the offensive side of the ball. So me, I'm like, well, it's got to be the theme of the head coach. I don't know because it's under his, like, this is all under him. I don't, yeah, the coordinators, Rita brought up because it was my first thing where I was sort of like done with the game on the 3rd and 13 and we played coverage. I'm like, oh, okay, well I had the same thought. I was like, oh well, we're not going to try tonight, but I just it's the same stuff, and him looking lost on the sideline. I'm just done with it all. I'm done with the quotes. I'm done with, oh yeah, we should have had that happen. Well, you control it.
You are
You're the
the
one
person
in
in charge.
control.
You're in
You're
charge.
the one in control. You have things that only you can do in your headset with the when to call timeouts, when to get things settled right. You're the guy in control, and this doesn't change. And it's been a decade. It's been a decade. It's
Project
not
Game
like
Day.
this is new.
Project Game Day postgame show, also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Best place to watch every fight, every big game, every major event is Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Ken, I really wonder who you're going to fire this week. It really could be anyone this week when you think about it.
Look,
It's
I
the
tell you what,
kicker,
said
isn't it? It's the
since you're
kicker.
not going to do it, I'll be the one to fire the
no,
kicker.
no, I'm gonna do it
I've been
because
saying it.
I
I've been
had
saying it
said to
all year
you.
long, and nobody wants to acknowledge how right I've been about this topic.
Oh, I've acknowledged how right you are.
Kid
You
might prove to
mentioned
be
it.
a
I
kicker one
remember.
day. Maybe one day he's going to be a kicker.
But
I
not
know,
today, huh,
I
friend?
know. Yeah, that
He has
was
not been an NFL kicker this season. There's
we
nothing that
tech.
he does that is NFL level. I cannot believe that we watched in the year of our Lord 2025 an NFL kicker leave a 56-yard field goal short. I cannot believe that happened in the National Football League.
That
The
was his
fif-
longest one, huh? Of this year?
Would have
his
been.
longest try. He had the what
Yeah,
was
the
it,
he had a.
55-yarder in Minnesota, I think. Yeah.
I thought he
So
tried a 59 at one point. No, I
uh,
thought they said he had missed a 59.
'Cause I know they
I
said he
mean,
tried
I
one
think
in college.
it was only
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fourth kick
it was only the
over
fifth.
50 all
Yeah.
year.
And the one
Look,
in Minnesota was indoors and he missed
yeah,
it. And this
I know.
one he left
Yeah.
short. He
Yeah,
left it short.
the short, you can miss it right, you can miss it left. You can't miss it short. Not when guys are kicking 65 yards field goals on the regular in
Apparently,
this
he made a
league now.
62-yarder at Arizona. Like that's
What's
the.
that?
Apparently he made a 62-yarder at Arizona. Like that's the.
Oh, everybody keeps telling me he's got a massive leg, and maybe
Yeah.
he does.
Maybe he
wait,
does,
the
but he doesn't show
University
it.
of
He does
Arizona,
he
right?
doesn't show it.
Yes. Yes.
He doesn't show
Okay.
it at any point, even on kickoffs. Where's this leg?
Well,
I
no,
don't.
the kickoff thing, they've been purposely trying
Kickoff
to
has
do
been a
something
little
else.
different
Yeah, but
with
he
that.
hasn't
Yeah.
been good at it. Like they have been purposely trying to do a different thing on the kickoffs.
Well, then
It's just not his skill set.
that's a
Yeah,
whole nother kettle of fish then, because
100%.
if he's not good at
And,
it, can
and to
we
be fair,
can
tonight
we lock?
he actually had one really good kickoff tonight, and then of course they didn't cover it. Like of course.
Correct, right.
Like
It's just, yeah.
it's one of them.
He was the leader in the clubhouse because I had said that in the text of our text chain. He was the leader in the clubhouse until the last 8 minutes of the game, and then I had to change.
Go ahead, just say it.
Fire his ass. HWO's back. HWO's back. The hard world's order. He's got to go. He's got to go. And he shouldn't even be allowed to coach next week because it doesn't matter anymore.
Somebody has to coach next week.
You can coach next week.
Who do you want?
I won't read it. I won't read it. A coach
You
next
let Reeta
week.
go out there. It's gonna be awfully cold out there.
I'm gonna
gonna
tell
say,
you
you're gonna
this
send
on
Reeta
third,
Lambo?
on 3rd and 13. I ain't about to just say I ain't not.
You
blitzing.
about to send
That's what I'm
somebody.
not. I'm sending somebody. I don't care if it's just one extra person.
There's
Somebody
not
getting sent.
anyone. There's not anyone doing this post-game show that couldn't have put Derrick Henry in the game with 8 minutes left.
Lord.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I'm treating Derrick Henry like 2000 Jamal Lewis out here. Go
Yep.
out there and keep
Yep.
running the ball
Your
until the clock says
your
0-0-0.
season is on the line,
Mhm.
and your best football player was on the bench.
Yep.
You got to go. You got to go. It is an indefensible decision by a head football coach of an NFL team. It just is. Goodbye.
Hey,
Get out.
the best of issue of PressBox is available right now at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. It's free. You can relive all the amazing moments of local sports in 2025. Remember, there were fun things, actually, is what you'll see. There were moments that were neat.
So
as
listen,
you were there.
I don't want to talk about the Ravens anymore, and I have
Hang on. PressBoxOnline.com is also where you can read it. Let me finish that. Go ahead. Read
All
it.
right, cool. I have to go to work in the morning, and what I'm not going to do is allow the Ravens to take any less time that I have to sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off because they're a waste of my
Oh,
air.
we're wrapped anyway.
Thank
We're
you.
wrapped anyway.
Well, love you all, and we'll complain about them Saturday against Green Bay.
Yeah,
Bye.
we'll definitely do one more. For assuming the weekend goes the way we expect it to go next weekend, we will probably not do a week 18 show, but we'll do one next Saturday night, and I'm sure it'll be just a joy. I'm sure it'll just be another barrel of fun. The way
Tyler
that
Huntley
think
And
against
we're
Malik
getting,
if
Willis.
Malik
on
Willis
Peacock.
goes off, I'm gonna be upset.
Malik Willis versus Tyler Huntley. Ooh,
Malik Willis can play a little bit.
he
I
can.
know he
except
can play, but if he
Malik
goes
Willis,
off, I'm gonna be upset.
he's
I'm gonna be
also
really
hurt, so
upset.
it might not even be that. It might be some other human being playing quarterback for the Packers on Saturday night. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Ken, I know it's the last night of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, my friend. I hope you have a great
Happy
week.
Hanukkah.
Love you guys. Don't forget 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org. It's a tough time of year. If you're going through it, if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, give them a call or a text or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. We will see you next Saturday night. Happy holidays. This has been PressBox's Project Game.